أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Dear brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. It's a great pleasure for us to welcome you on for yet another NAF webinar on, and this time it would be on a topic on data center operations and management. It will be an awareness session about data center domain, complete domain of data center. How would you manage it? How would you plan for it? How would you build a data center for your company? And we have with us Brother Zahir Hussain, a senior specialist in data center operations for one of the largest oil companies in the region. And he has handled large projects involving many data center implementations. He has about 20 years of experience in this domain, and is certified PMP and ITIL and other industry recognized certifications. So it will be definitely a knowledge sharing for us, and I welcome on behalf all of you and NIT Forum, Brother Zahir Hussain, to conduct this webinar on data center domain, inshallah. Over to you, Brother Zahir.
Alhamdulillah, inshallah. Let me start. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم صدق الله العظيم. Dear brothers and sisters, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us a opportunity to share our experiences and our day-to-day activities, life with our brothers and sisters who are willing to share, willing to change our domain, or willing to take us this domain or whatever domains we are discussing here as a series of webinars. Inshallah, may Allah bless us. Inshallah, I am asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to benefit all of us from this series of our seminar webinars. Inshallah, with that, today we are going to discuss about data center domain. As we are going to discuss the basic things, like not like how to the design and implement those type of things. We are not because it needs more time and more information. So I'm going to discuss here just as a data center. What is data center? What is the server room? What are the components of the data center? Where all our focus has to be. Inshallah, if we understand this domain, like it's a overall design. We are not going to discuss in detail about how the projects all about. We are going to discuss what is data center, what all are the components, and what all are the the certificates and institutions, how they are into this field, how we can cope up with them, and we can join them, like in the certified as a certified domain expert. So that you can design data centers, you can manage data centers, like that. So it will be overall discussion only, not in depth, which need more time and we need more information. Inshallah, we will with this continuation of this webinar. Inshallah, we will have another day about the projects, how to design, and what all are the even will club with business continuity and disaster recovery. Inshallah, in future. With this, I'm going to start discussing about. I would like to have some bit more, interactive sessions. Like I wanted to discuss about our brothers and sisters who are there online. like what all are what is the difference between the server room and the data center? If anyone, inshallah, commerce, just tell us so that we can continue from there, inshallah. What is the difference between data center and the server room? We all, most of them are network professionals, and some of them are database background, some of them are application background. So what you have, what in your background, if you say a computer room, a server room, a data center, what is in your idea, what is in your mind? Just I wanted to know, brothers. Brothers?
Yeah, brothers, you can unmute your mic and then start speaking, inshallah.
Anyone? Khair, inshallah. Anyone?
Assalamualaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
This is Shahul.
Yeah, Shahul, yes, go ahead.
Hi. Regarding the difference between the server room and the data center, what, as per my knowledge, I can maybe it could be correct, or you can explain me whether it's right or wrong.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
that's what all about we're asking. Yes,
exactly.
Yeah.
The data center, which we can see like all the components, like it will be what should I say, like network, security devices, all the devices should be there, and all the components will be inside. It's in like what should I say, like it's like all components in one box, okay? And the server room, if we say different, it's like in a dedication, power, UPS. These all the things will not be available as in a server room. Like you can say one rack or one cabinet, which is having all the devices like server, network, security, everything will be in one rack. But in data center, it will be segregated with the proper power and what should I say, like all other facilities we can see. There's a major difference between this, as per my knowledge.
Yes. Anyone else?
Brother Zahir, Assalamualaikum.
Al-Islam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
This is Siraj.
Yes, brother. Yes, go ahead.
Data center enterprises may name it data center, and it may have servers, network equipments, and firewall, whatever all IT relevant equipments, including server, can be named data center for enterprises company. Server room can be named for a SMB or lower company. Maybe they don't have of course the server room only. They will keep some server for application or SQL database, and of course they might have some network equipments, but of course they don't know about comparatively. When we see that the data center between server room, by naming it, of course, all the IT equipments we place it. I have seen it from SMB to enterprises. While I see that, according to my experience, enterprises they call mostly data center. They have all the equipments, IT equipments. Of course, server room also has this in SMB companies. They have also small medium equipments in server room. I hope I answered this your question.
Yeah, actually. This is this is what I said at the beginning. It's your perception, your brother's perception. Actually, both are doing the same job, like data center and the server room. Whatever equipment you keep, it will be there, right? Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen, your background only.
The PPT is there.
No. You share your screen.
Let me share my screen. Let me.
We see your video only, Zahir.
Yeah. Okay. Now you are able to see?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. So, so data center, actually the server room is a room like it will be there, okay, as most of the companies who are not aware of the data center or importance of the servers or what they think, you know, okay, it is running, plus why don't we to worry about the keeping the server inside the room, the data center, why the data center? It's a server room, it's a solving a purpose and it's doing its job. Actually, it is the for IT. The server room is, it's a room like, like normal our offices to keep some of the racks and put some cooling, maybe a split unit or our window unit, like, those type of units, and keep, it's doing its job. Why to worry about? So this is what most of the people's, the idea and mentality and maybe budget constraints. So there are so many things. But the data center is not that. For IT, it's a data center is the server room only, but it is not only if you remove the AC, it will become normal room. It's a server room. If it is server room, then you remove the AC and remove the racks and it will become normal room. But the data centers the other way, the data center is made for this particular purpose to keep the server room, the servers and equipments. So you have to build the data center. So you should not even a normal room and the data center. The data center should have completely sealed. Actually, there should be no single entry point of air to mix up with the inside the air. So it will create a lot of issues in future. So the data center that's what I put here the title linchpin of a modern world. So I'll come to the point later. So data center, you are going to keep all your equipments. If you design a data center, that is designed for 50 years. So whatever size, whatever technology grows, the data center is a data center. It has to be there always. Whatever if we take about, if we talk about cloud, I don't talk about it. There are companies like without data center they are running, but up to companies. But companies like they need the real the security type of things. They need this their important data which nobody should know. Like those type of things they have to have a separate data center. These data center, even if it is in the cloud also, somewhere it is there as a data center. So in the modern world, it will come like, without IT, we cannot move inch of it. The world should not move, will not move inch of the next steps. So that's what, the world is going to be in technological, the what you call the implementations or technological usages, everything, the world going to change like. So everything is going to be, the data based actually. So the data is should be shared properly. So it has to be there in the proper place, proper location, proper cooling, proper power requirement. You should not have a shutdown. Those type of things. That's why they create a room for specific for this purpose. That is called a data center. The server room is like a normal room, which you put some cooling and those type of things, and it will run. It will do the job. But data center, for example, if you put the sensitive devices like backup libraries, backup devices, storages, smaller storages nowadays, even not going to use the spindle anymore. So still, the backup devices and those type of the mechanical, electromechanical devices are going to use the data centers because it's the type of the spindle it uses. The spindle writing the data to the to the tape or type. It moves somewhere. It has what you call the water content or the humidity content is there. It will corrupt the data. So like that. So if, those devices, even HPCs, the high performance computing systems, those all need because it's produce a lot of heat. that cannot be handled by the normal, the split units or window units, ACs. So it has to be the separate air conditions. It has to come properly. It has to handle the air properly. Maybe depends the devices, depends the data center, depends the equipments what you're going to keep in the data center. From 18 degrees Celsius to 24, 20, 23, 24 degrees Celsius, you have to keep the temperature. And the humidity level also, it should be between 30 degrees, 30% and 50, 55 or maximum 60%. Within this range, you have to keep your data center. So this all cannot be done by the server room or the split AC units, which cannot control the humidity. So this, taking this consideration, taking this the main important point. So the data centers are designed for the for this type of equipments and servers. For small server companies, they are not going to use any backup library, or they are not going to use any HPCs, normal devices, only network devices, and going to connect to the cloud. Then it is fine with go with the server room. But a data center, no. If you have a big data, big in sizes, even IBM servers, Lenovo servers and systems, they need a particular type of cooling, but particular percentage of humidity and all. Most of the brothers might have aware of this, because they have, specifically mentioned, especially I am talking about the Lenovo, they specifically mention always they are very sensitive devices and equipments they handle. So that's the main difference of between data center and the server room. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the data center. Okay, brothers? Any doubt? Brothers? Anyone there? What happened? Sally?
Yeah, we are following you, Zahir, right?
Following, right? Nobody, there's no sound at all, so that's why. Okay.
Everybody is fully immersed, actually.
Oh.
In your topic, yes.
Okay, let me start our discussion further in data center. Okay, so what we are going to, this is the agenda we are going to discuss here. What is data center? Mostly I already we discussed this point. And type of data centers. There are different types of data centers. We'll come inshallah to that. And what are the components and the types of center and the data center components? Then there are standards like business standards and data center certifications. Not our personal certification; it's a certification for the data center. And education. This is our certification. What all are available certifications in if any brothers would like to enter to the data center domain? So those type of certifications may help them, inshallah. So what all are the opportunities, inshallah? These all are the things we are going to discuss in this webinar, inshallah, today. In case we need the construction or the projects, if you wanted to discuss, inshallah, we can, I can arrange another webinar with the data center construction and what all are, how we are going to use the data center. And, we will discuss, inshallah, with business continuity and the disaster recovery in future, inshallah, another webinar. So today we are going to simplify within this domain the data center, okay, inshallah. Okay. So this is the data center. Data center is a facility used to house a computer and associated components such as telecommunication storage systems. In general, redundant backup power supplies, redundant data communication connections, environmental controls, and various security devices. This is a small data center. Sorry. Yeah, the major component. This is the data center. So we are going to discuss about it's a model like, what all are the data center components which we are going to discuss. Mainly the data center is supposed to be, now they are saying some of the data centers in the floors, maybe in Buhambra Towers, I think in Kuwait City, and all they have in 64 floors, 65 floors, and all there are data centers. The data center actually, it has to be, as I said earlier, it has to be built for this purpose. Not normally what they do, people, they just construct some building and they select some room and make a data center. That is not a right approach. The approach has to be, the building has to be constructed for the data center. Normally it has to be sealed completely. Actually, there should be no small gap. So to few, maybe inches, centimeters, millimeter even, maybe 2-3 places, the millimeter of gap makes a big difference, big issue in the controlling of the air and the humidity in the especially countries like Kuwait and Middle East. In the humidity season, a lot of issues everywhere people are facing, because most of the buildings here not designed for the data center. The building has to be designed for the data center, so it will be it will have no issues in future handling the as a data center handling or air handling issues in the future. So that has to be very, very important. You have the room has to be sealed completely, and all the chances or maybe doors and everything has to be sealed with rubber beading and those type of things. That means it has to be sealed completely. This is what the main thing. This is the basic necessity for the data center as a room. Then it comes the power. The power has to be protected, because most of the places, even in Kuwait, everywhere, there will be a surge in the power, the fluctuation in the power. So the fluctuation in the power should not be there in any of the computing devices. Small fluctuation is there, you have to pay a lot, because the hardware goes bad, and the hard disk goes completely corrupt. It might corrupt the hard disk. Those type of things. Even if the modern days, the storage devices also gets these type of issues. The power should not be disturbed during the the operations or during the running, the data center running. So the power UPS system, uninterruptible power supply system, is the main component of the data center next to the room. Okay. So what all are there are different type of UPS systems. UPS, redundant UPS, normal nowadays. The modular UPS is in place. Like if we need for maybe 100 kVA or 200 kVA UPS or 500 kVA UPS, you have to have you have to have minimum 2, because for the redundant purpose. And nowadays there are modular data center. For example, if you have 500 kVA UPS, the kilowatt ampere UPSs, these UPSs, what happens? You can have 4 slots. Instead of 500 in one unit, you can have modules, 100 kVA modules. So you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on another systems. So you have a redundancy within the system, or we can have the another. That all I will discuss inshallah later. This is the main thing of the UPS, because the another thing, the main important thing, data center, not only the IT domain. In IT, actually data center, the IT are the users of data center, because the IT has no main role in data center except maintaining the servers and those type of IT equipments. The data center is electromechanical, mechanical, electrical, those type of and instrumentational, those type of and the cooling, HVAC systems. These type of the engineering involved mostly. So if anyone involved in data center or data center operations, they have to have a knowledge of electrical and the cooling. What is the cooling? Because the main thing is actually you don't have knowledge also, not a problem. We can run the show. But if you know the things, then you can talk to the concerned person for electrical engineer. If you want to talk to electrical engineer, if you know the things, what is ampere, what is voltage, what is what type of the capacity you are using it, what you need it. So these type of things you have to know so that you can talk to electrical engineer in his language, so that he can understand, he can help us to run IT properly. The same way, the mechanical, there are two major things in mechanical. One is air conditioning system, okay, comes under mechanical, because it has electrical, though it has instrumentation items, mostly it's a mechanical item. So that also you have to know what is the temperature, what is the humidity, what is the the temperature, the air filter, air fuel filter, like what we talk about automobile, like the air filter, the component of the humidifier, component of the air conditioning unit. So if you are in a meeting, if you know if you have this idea, so we can talk in this language, so that you can run the show without any issue with the teams. So these all are the electrical things, the domain knowledge, and the electrical. Coming back to electrical, excuse me, just a few minutes.
Hello?
Sorry,
Zahir?
Yeah.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah. So the UPS system, the UPS is the power backup system. So if you need for the power in between the power failure, so it can support until it backup power reaches the devices, the UPS. So the power is stored in the batteries. They keep on storing in the battery. Inshallah, in next session, each component will discuss separately. I'm going to discuss overall because we need more time. So overall discussion only. So the just overall understanding, I will just go. I'm going through fast. Inshallah, we'll discuss in future each component like AC, UPS, everything will come discuss later. Inshallah. Okay. The UPS, it has a battery unit, so it will keep on storing power. Depends our requirement. For example, we need how many minutes backup time we need for the company standard. Then based on that, the UPS can be designed. And this is the backup time also. It's again directly implication of the financial thing. If you need maybe half an hour backup time, you need more batteries, so you need more space, you need more money, more budget, and everything. So, for example, I need 500 kVA backup, 500 kVA UPS. So I need 10 minutes backup, means this many set of battery units you have to have, so that it will support for 10 minutes. By that time, the electrical, maybe the problem solved, or the generator will back up the power. So in that way, your the servers are protected. It will not fail for the power issue. So again, this UPSs backup with the MEW, the minister. We say in Kuwait, Ministry of Electricity, or MEW. MEW power. It will feed you the UPS, right? It will feed to UPS. In case power failure, MEW substation or any problem comes in the MEW supply, immediately our generator kicks off. In between the power generator and the our UPS system, there is a unit called ATS, automatic transfer switch. What happened? It will keep on, it has also backup. ATS also has a backup. It will keep on the connectivity, keep on checking the connectivity between the MEW power and the UPS. If MEW power fails, immediately within 6 seconds, the ATS starts the generator by itself automatically, so that the power will come from generator, and this disconnect the electrical. Everything will be managed by the ATS system, automatic ATS transfer switch. Sorry, ATS, automatic transfer switch. So this ATS will keep on pinging both the things, so it will manage that thing. So this is the purpose of ATS unit. So we discussed already the backup generator and the UPS unit. Now we'll coming to air condition. Air condition is the most critical, most important, as power. It is as necessary as power, because if a lot of servers and IT equipment generates a lot of heat inside the data center. What happened immediately? Maybe if you don't have maybe if you have thousands of servers, imagine how much heat it produces. So it can, within maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it will go like 48 degrees, 45 degrees Celsius inside the data center. Imagine what will happen. So what happened? Immediately, this also, most of the companies, later we will discuss inshallah, most of the companies, they are using the Fortune 50 companies, Fortune 500, the most availability requirement companies, they are using backup power, even generate UPS for the generator as well. UPS for the AC units, because it should not, they cannot have have a downtime given within maybe seconds or minutes, like banks and all. The air conditioning unit is the most important thing. Actually, it's called HVAC, heat ventilation air condition control system. That's what the HVAC. Now all the data center has the HVACs only. Some of them are having cooled chill water system, means the air is chilled by the water, normal water only. There is inshallah, those are all mechanical things. We'll discuss inshallah once we get time for the next session. So there are two types of AC. One is gas, the other is water. The gas and all, how we are using for the automatic automobiles. The same idea, but it's using different type of gases, and it cools, it chills the air, and pushes. And there is a humidifier. It mixes with the water and the heat, and it generates the humidifier. It supplies to the. There has to be. It has to control. Controlled by, as I said earlier, 25 degrees to maximum of 50 to 60 degree, 50 to 60% percentage of the humidity in the air. So this is the normal phenomena in the data center environment. So these are the major things of UPS and the HVAC systems. Then and it has okay, now as I said earlier, the building has to be constructed for the data center. So there has to be now, still until now, some companies are not using it. Most of the companies are using the raised floor, maybe 1 meter or 2 meters, maybe normally 2 meters, 2 meters away from the floor. They are preparing the raised floor. So from the raised floor, all our data, the servers and everything, there is tiles and everything. The standard tiles are there. Under the raised floor, the air is passed in the cold air. So wherever we need, we just will perforate a tile, we keep it, and you'll get the air from the perforated tile. Some of the smart perforation also there. It has a fan, and it has the sensors also. You can set the sensor this particular rack need the maybe this many of from maybe 22 degrees Celsius of cooling it needed. So it can manage, that fan can manage, it will pull the data, pull the air from down and push it to the those racks. So it has a smart tiles, it's called. There are perforated, normally perforated tile is used, maybe the grills are there, maybe the holes are there. That changes. Now the modern world is, it has aluminum, it has aluminum holes, and with aluminum hole, it's a galvanized metal down. There are several types in the tiles. So it is the air is coming from down, and the hot air is always, right? The weightless air is always on top. So from the AC, there is a unit called, it will suck actually the air, hot air, and it will rotate, like, it will send outside, it will rotate inside. Also the, the cooling air, it will go to the chiller, like that, So the automatic rotation is there. So this is all about the temperature and humidity, air, as well as the power so far, right? Then the cooling units, it has, as I said earlier, it has chillers. Chillers has a lot of components. It has chilled water, it has pumps, it has a lot of the components. Inshallah, we will discuss on the later. And the security devices, security, the open door security, and physical security, guards, those type of security system can be implemented in any of the data centers. And the management of the data center, for example, if we are 24/7, all the data centers are running. Some of the companies have their own software. Interestingly, nowadays there are the robots. It can monitor. It can walk around the data center. You can set the parameter. It can walk around the data center. Maybe 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, like a manual, like us. It is to take a round, and it's reading the temperature and humidity, and alert us in case of any fluctuations of our parameters. So these all are the monitoring things. And there is a DCIM, data center infrastructure management. That's what the DCIM. There are a lot of softwares and sensors. Whenever this is what the currently going on. Wherever you need, you can keep the sensors, and it will, the devices are there. It will read the data from the sensors and will alert us by email or SMS. Those type of alerts it can control. And even nowadays AI also there. There are it's not much in the market, but it is there also. AI there. So you can, the appliances automatically generate reports, automatically generate alerts, automatically trigger calls to some of the numbers. If you set, it can trigger, it can call them, it can call us, like that. The systems are there in the managing the data center. Okay. So this is what the major components of the data center. The data center, there are several types of data center. Like, the conventional data center, as we see in the our presentation, there are conventional. Normally we see these are the data centers, and the warehouse style data center. Like, Google has a warehouse style. Like it's look like a warehouse. If you see this photo, the down one, if you see, you will not say it's a data center. Okay. But inside there is a package of data center. They will keep it as a warehouse data center. Okay. Then nowadays another concept called container data centers, like our unused containers. Like it's a big industry by itself. The container. I think you might have heard of container houses, container shops, container tea shops, and there's a lot of they are making used container, old containers. They are buying the 20 feet or 60 feet containers, and they are making it as houses, and like that. They are also making the data center. It's a industry by itself. Now, all the companies are into this business, like Schneider, like even HP. But Sun is not much, maybe I believe. But Schneider is doing, Schneider, Huawei also, they are doing a lot of container projects in all over the world. The container, what it is the same what we discussed earlier. Maybe if you need 5 racks or 10 racks, you don't have any the place to construct, or you don't have time. You need maybe all your data center ready within maybe 3 years, maximum 6 months. So the constructing everything takes time and approvals, these, that, and all. They bring just a container, place it, and connect the electricity, what we discussed earlier. Even the electricity also, they have a separate container, generator, detached generator, UPS, everything built in with the container. So the 2 container they kept in, they just order it, and within 2-3 months they will bring it. A matter of money. Maybe within a month also they can do. Schneider, they are doing very good in this business. Within a month or 2, they can build our entirely different, the scenario. You can see beautiful. Their containers are. I saw 1, 2, 3 data center containers. It's beautiful. They bring, they place some of the one place, they construct small. The height and all, and the platforms, just they keep this type of containers. So this is called a container data center, and it will work as usual, right, like other data centers. Okay. Now, so these are the background of the data center. The how it's different from server room, what all are the components we discussed, and now we are coming to the before simply everybody, construct a server room, they call themselves it's a data center. Nowadays, the companies like Uptime Institute, IDCA and Big C, these all are the certificate, they are certificating the data center. Means this is up to the standard. So that they can give the tier certifications. The Uptime's language is called a tier certification. Well, for 1 tier, 2 tier, 3 tier, 4 tier, up to 4. Even 5th tier also came, but it's up to 4 tiers or in the market. They say, for example, for some of the banks, or if you are running IT company, I'm hosting some of the companies server and hosting the cloud data center. I'm producing, a lot of, cloud-based systems, and also they have to, for example, I'm doing that business, means I have to show to my customer, my data center is certified by the Uptime Institute. I'm up to his standard, like of I'm tier 2 or tier 3 or tier 4 data center I'm running. So come to the business, you don't worry about your data, don't worry about your IT infrastructure. We are there because we are certified by the authorities like Uptime Institute or IDCA or Big C. So these all are the companies who do the certification for data centers. So based on this, the business come for the cloud owners. Okay, then say these all are the tier certifications. Data center, this is the Uptime issuing the tier certification. And others are simply certified by the IDCA or certified by the PC. But Uptime is a tier certification they're issuing. Okay, so we'll discuss about that now. The data center tiers are a system used to describe a specific kind of data center infrastructure in a consistent way. Okay. The data center tiers are a system used to describe specific kinds of data center infrastructure in a consistent way. So it's a consistency, what type of the items to be used, how it is built. So it has a consistency. Then the tier 1 is the simplest infrastructure, while tier 4 is the most complex and has the most redundant components. Each tier includes the required components of all tiers below it. Actually, there are four tiers, which I said 1, 2, 3, 4. It has by itself, it has the component specific. Like it has a simple component without any redundancy. It's called tier 1. It has some type of redundancy. It's called a tier 2. It has a more redundancy 3 and 4 like that. So this is the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and all. These all are the one more major requirement is the uptime. So tier 1 is only 99.67% availability. Okay, the tier 2 is 99.74% in a year. Then 99.98 percentage in a year of uptime of 3 tier. 4 tier 99.99. Okay. So what all are the components needed? The potential downtime, downtime. So what is the downtime for tier 1, tier 2, 3, and 4? Includes, I'm talking about tier 1, includes a single path power and cooling. Like, because I have no budget, or whatever reason, I have only one server, only one power source, and I have only one AC source, and only I have, the businesses looking for the economical solution. I don't have a budget, so I have only. So that also we can certify as a tier 1 certification. Then tier 2, N+1. It means I have one UPS, I have another one. Okay. Maybe the source will be only one, but it can separate in between the UPS. So these type of, it has a bit more, advantage of over the tier 1 is N+1 redundancy, includes a raised floor, uninterrupted power supply, and backup generator. It has a generator, by the way. You'll not have the generator in tier 1. In power supply goes, maybe another 10 minutes, you have to shut down all the servers up to the supply, the backup UPS, how long it supports. Within that minute, you have to shut down your system. So this is what the tier 1. The tier 2, no, it's okay, because it has a UPS and it has a generator. In case UPS down, maybe 6 seconds starts, or somehow it starts, maybe you have a generator. Means it has a, they can certify as a tier 2 category. So it has a single path power and cooling, while also providing backup redundant components. It has a backup redundant component. It's only single source, but it has one generator there. One generator, so it can support in case power failure, and generator can support. So it can go up to 22 hours of downtime in a year. Then tier 3 is a 99.98 percentage of uptime you have to show in a year. Means, it has a N+1 with the 72 outage protection, 72 hour total, multiple path of power and cooling along with backup redundancy. For example, you have 2 power. For a multiple, it can be 2 or 3. Normally, it is 2 because all of them are expensive, So you have a 2 pathway of power. On MEW also, MEW has a generator. Okay, one generator, it's applied for the both UPS system. Again, there is a bottleneck. Then come to tier 4, it has 2 N+1, means you have one full path for power. For example, it has its own generator, it's had its own UPS, it has its own MEW power source. So from the MEW power source and the UPS and the ATS and the batteries and the generator system, even generator also, the UPS system means the generator, the ATS, the UPS, all supplies goes to, and the distribution system also. Distribution, for example, you might have noticed every server has 2 different power sources, right? So each power source is a separate path from all the way from MEW, generator, and the UPS, and the distribution unit, and to your server, one separate path. In case of power failure on one path, the other path will take. So there will be no downtime whatsoever. That this generator even UPS, all connected to AC also, as I said earlier. So it is connected to air conditioning unit. If the power is available, then air conditioning also available. So there will be no downtime. It's up to only 44.44, even 40 minutes the whole year. That is the maximum allowable downtime in tier 4. Clear? Here, I'm just we have to finish it. So this is explained here again. Tier 1, what is tier 1? No redundancy, 20 years over this again. Just I wanted to clarify more, inshallah. This is the typical tier 4, as I said earlier. See, it has grid means the utility power means ABW. It's a main power panel. It goes to automatic transfer switch and backup generator. Okay, the power panel. This is UPS and the battery power, and ABP. This is the distribution unit, and it's the major. This is the main board panel. This is the PDU, power distribution panel, all the way to your server. So this is one full path. Okay, here this is another full path. Okay, in case any any component fails here, it can back up without any downtime inside the data center. Okay, clear? Here. So this that is so far we discussed about the certification of the data center quality and the availability. That is the data center for the certification for the data center. Now, certification for us, how we come to enter to this domain as a data center. Normally, the countries like Kuwait, Middle East, we can say, except some of the companies, they don't take, data. Even my current company, I am the first one for the data, appointed for the data center. Nobody was there until maybe 4 years back. So many years of experience, the company, such an old company. I am the first employee as the look after the data center. Until now, there was until I joined, there was nobody. This is the they have this is the mentality in Middle East. Even India nowadays there, because we are providing service. We are India service provider, so they appoint data center related employees and specialists and the engineers and those type of people. Every data center certification bodies are providing related certification after attending their course, followed by exams. Like, as I said, we discussed earlier, Bixi, IDCA, and the Uptime, they have their own certifications. For example, if you want to have, tier certifications, or you want to employ, you want to get a job in tier certified data centers, you have to have this type of certification. Will be added advantage. Not it be added, they will take immediately. Other than that, Bixi also they have certificate, and IDC also they have certification. Here also the Uptime also they have certification. Other than that, senior training is a UK-based company where I certified CDCMP, data center, certified data center management professional. This is the certificate. This type of there are 4 certifications they are giving. But this is the most commonly taken for the data center, operations management employees. So we can go through, but bit expensive. But alhamdulillah, it is useful, inshallah. If anyone wanted to enter to this domain as a data center management professional or operational professional or design professional, there are several. Okay, then it's the same way, EPI AP. This is another company. It's again, it's in it's a US company. UK. Again, it's UK also. Sorry, CDCP, Certified Data Center Professional. These are the certification bodies. Some of the certification bodies are the major role player in the domain. All others there are several certifications, but that are not that much focused or that much people are looking for. Okay, so these are the Uptime Institute certification. They have data tier designer, data tier specialist, and operations specialist. AOS and ATS and HED. These all are their certification. their certifications. Okay. This is what overall our agenda today. Hope you got some information, inshallah, out of it. May Allah make beneficial to all of us, inshallah. How far is got some information? I don't know. Just please tell us. For me, I'm done, inshallah, Abdullah. Yes.
Thank you so much, Zahir bhai. I think it's time for question answers. If any of the participants would like to ask some questions or would like to get some clarifications, please post your questions in chat or unmute your mic and you can start asking your questions.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Sayyid here.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah, Sayyid, yeah, brother.
What kind of opportunities are there when you go with the data center certification or on the data center path when we are in the IT sector?
Yeah, this is what I already said. There is actually speaking, it's a huge, it's a vast area. Depends the company only. The jobs are we can design ourselves. For example, if I said earlier, the companies you are going like banks and especially they talked about data center. Simply the most of the people has no that much knowledge with the requirement and those type of things especially in this domain. That is the major the flaw we are facing. The people has known the seriousness of this data center. If you want to enter, as I said earlier, better to go with the tier type of data centers, like the Uptime Institute. They are doing a better businesses in all over the world, especially in Middle East. Also, there are banks. Recently, also we visited Zain data center. They have a tier 3 certification. They're the tier 3 data center. So if you have the tier certification, which I said earlier, Uptime Institute, just visit their website, Uptime Institute. You can have some idea. And Big C is not that much in Kuwait. Uptime is the right choice, but a bit expensive for training and because no institutes teaches these type of trainings. Only that particular companies are teaching. So maybe around $300, $3,000. It's not 1,000 KD something. That much expensive it is. All the companies, but mostly tier 3 is one. Uptime is better, I believe, in my opinion, my experience.
But how far this certification is valid? Because like the Kuwait market is very much stagnated.
Yes.
So how far we can get an opportunity to be as a data center admin or in the implementation part? Because I think now the market is not, even previously as well.
Yes.
There is no such market here. So what is the probability that we can get a job in the data center perspective?
That's a good question, but the answer to that is difficult because in Kuwait they don't know the seriousness of the data center. This is what I experienced in several places. Normally, the companies like even oil companies, even some of the banks are taking very serious, like 8BK, even Zain, because they are a service provider. Zain, Uridu. They are service providers, so they are taking serious, but still that the lack is there. They don't maybe they don't understand, or they think they take it lightly, like means some of the ACs has to run, so they give contract to some AC companies. The UPS runs and UPS companies. All the domain, because it's a multiple domain. It's not pure IT. The data center domain is not pure IT, by the way. That you have to take always. You have to think. Actually, it's data centers job is best for the mechanical engineers. mechanical engineers, they will have, idea of electrical things, electromechanical things, and some part of, the instrumentation items. So mechanical engineers, I prefer for them actually this job. For IT, from IT background, unless you show some interest, you study the, means not study means not a certificate or something, at least you have to spend some time to get that knowledge, then it is it will help us. But how far it is help us, that is the question again. Like, how I came to this this domain. I was in PIC as I joined as a system administrator. So simple, gradually I came to data center. I don't know how I came, by the way. So that's how it is. That's the reality. So we cannot say like, if you get the certification immediately you got, or if you have certification also, you will not get the job. We cannot say this is the problem or thing with the this domain.
You mentioned previously in the discussion, like there are robots that monitors the data centers.
Yeah.
So do we have anything like in Kuwait that they have implemented something like that, the robots?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not in Kuwait yet. Even the other day I asked even brother Mubin also. He also said it's not that much not in Kuwait. Maybe they're discussing on it, but it's US. It is there. Yes. I recently went through some of the own website and I read through. There are, yes, but it is there. The system is there. The robot is there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jazakallah khair.
Hayakallah. Hope it's clear, right?
Yes. Alhamdulillah.
Any other questions, brother?
Any more questions from the audience before we wind up the session for today?
Questions?
Jazakallah Zahir Bhai for the wonderful session and a great thing. Zahir Bhai, you didn't mention, is there any provision for the dual power source or FMG for the fire situation, instant situation, where the FMG flows automatically to the data center, where to surge the powers or whatever the things, and dual power source. Each cabinet should, or each whatever cabinet or whatever that should have a dual power source with the backup of UPS, which has alerting system. Any points to that one?
Which one? The fire suppressor system, you mean?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed this point actually. The fire suppression system, also a mechanical part actually. It is there. FM 200. Now CO2 was there before. Now FM 200 also there. Now there is another system. It can the DCIM we discussed, right? With the DCIM it can be integrated.
Okay.
Yeah. The alert, the sensors are there, like smoke sensors, fire sensors, and temperature sensors. It go beyond some certain level. It trigger the alert. So it will alert people to evacuate the room. Then immediately after some time, it will throw like the gas.
Thank you.
This is what your question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed this point actually. Yeah, it's a major component of the data center. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. That's why I just reminded for even everyone.
Jazakallah khair. I'm sorry, I missed it.
No problem there.
Yeah. If anything,
by the way, it was a great session, and hearing from you as first 15 years experience from data center management and cabinets, it was a great and wonderful session. Jazakallah khairan.
Jazakallah hayakumullah. I don't know, it may not be great, but at least I will shared whatever I know. At least
yes.
Till I missed this fire.
I have a small question. The reason technology trend is going towards cloud. I mean, it has already been that way for the last couple of years, actually. So any company would like to deploy a service, a new service, they prefer to go cloud. So, so the trend has become such that we may not require to maintain a full-fledged IT data center anymore. What is your take on this? Like, do we still have a demand to implement, manage, and have all the the efforts and money to maintain such on-prem facilities when you compare to the ease and ease of operations of a cloud data center?
Good question actually. The cloud, people are, yes, there are clouds are almost 10 years or 15 years there in the market. But still, most of the, companies like banks, some of the parts they might go with the cloud, they cannot put all the data to the cloud. Still, now in our company, people are discussing they are going for a huge data center for oil company. One in Ahmadi itself, the another one is in North Kuwait. So there will be need, yes, there will be need. Though it is there in the cloud, how far it is reliable, first of all. The second thing is security. This type of things there. Here they are discussing about the 2040 projects. There will be several, the smart cities projects in Kuwait. So that is the idea, 2040 project. So based on that, they are in the building of huge data center. Recently, NBK also they built their own data center. There will be because they have another same concept called private data cloud, right? So the private cloud they need their data center. It is not so matured to everyone to believe cloud. Still, it will take another 5 to 10 years. But still, that's what was for 2040 project. We are building our own data center.
Okay.
So there will be all the banks and for me, oil companies up to certain level they have to go with their own data centers.
That's right. Yes. To be able to comply with some standards and regulations.
Yeah, some standards, some reliability, security issues. So they have to go with their own data centers.
Thank you. Any more questions from the audience? We are already running late of time, scheduled time. If you have any questions, please make it quick. Otherwise, we'll proceed with the closure of the event. Okay, I think that's it, Zahir. Once again, a huge thanks and appreciation to you for giving us your time and efforts in preparing such informative and useful presentation for us. It was really an informative and useful one for sure. And please keep in touch and give us more of your time in other data center related topics in the near future, inshallah. Just like you mentioned, you have other specific topics that you would like to take up, like disaster recovery and so on. So we look forward to have another session on the same domain in the near future. And once again, on behalf of Net Achievers Forum and also the participants, we would like to extend a heartfelt thanks and appreciation to you, Zahir bhai.
Jazakallah khair for your wonderful opportunity for me to share my experience with my brothers. Inshallah, anytime, any doubt, any help, I'm open. Anytime you can call me, anytime you ask your brothers. Inshallah. Always there.
Thank you so much.
For this opportunity.
Jazakallah khair.
for your time.
All right. Thank you everyone for participating with us.
May Allah accept our efforts, inshallah.
Ameen. And thank you everyone for staying with us and attending this webinar until this time. I'm sure there are participants even from outside of Kuwait, and it's pretty late at that in your location. But I really appreciate staying with us for this long. And keep in touch with all our future postings of webinars, and we will come up with one more yet another interesting webinars in the upcoming weeks, inshallah. So thank you so much, and that's it for today. Subhanakallahumma bihamdihi, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.